If you love great music and some gentle banter, you're in the right place. Listen to Radio Care, broadcasting from Coventry.
Hello and welcome to Radio Care. I know it sounds like I'm on helium tonight. Got a bit of a sore throat, but I haven't got a cold or anything. Don't know where it's come from, but I just sound a bit croaky. So hopefully my voice will hold out for the rest of the night. So tonight I decided to dedicate the show to peace and protest. So we've seen a lot on the news with sort of terrible things that are sort of going on in Ukraine at the moment. And my heart goes out sort of to all the people there. It's just heartbreaking to see all this. And it just got me thinking about sort of different sort of peace and protest songs that there's been over the years. So I've looked over the last sort of 60 odd years. And I put a sort of list together. So hopefully you enjoy the set. They're not all miserable songs. They're not all angry songs. There's a right mixture in there. So this first one takes us back to 1964. It's one from Sam Cooke. And this one is Change Is Gonna Come.
It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. I go to the movie and I go downtown. Somebody keep telling me don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. Then I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me please. But he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Oh, there have been times that I thought I could last for long, but now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will.
And that was the unmistakable voice of Sam Cooke. Change Is Gonna Come from 1964. It was released on his album Ain't That Good News, released in February 64. The song is about sort of Cooke's life, and most prominently when he and his entourage were turned away from the whites-only motels in Louisiana. Cooke felt compelled to write the songs, and it became one of them songs for the civil rights movements and the African Americans. Sadly, the song was released 2 weeks before, or excuse me, the song was released 2 weeks after he was fatally shot in December 64. It got to number 31 on the US Billboard Top 100. Got to number 9 on the US R&B charts, and on the Cashbox Top 100 it got to number 46. So welcome if you just joined us. Tonight's show on Radio Care is about peace and protests. So following the events that have been on the news, and I know we've all been watching it with what's been going on sort of in the Ukraine and sort of the terrible things that are going on there, and the invasion. I just felt that, you know, that there's not lots I can do, but I can sort of do a radio show and dedicate it to all them brave people that live in there, and those that have tried to sort of leave the country, giving up their homes and everything. You know, that takes a lot of courage to sort of do stuff like that and sort of go into another country where you don't know anyone, and all them other countries that are sort of helping them. Poland have been absolutely sort of amazing in helping them. So this is just my little small sort of way of sort of thinking about the people. And I chose peace and protest because there's so many songs that have come out over the last sort of 60 years, and they're not all sort of angry songs where, you know, people shouting about, you know, things that have got to happen, changes got to happen and stuff like that. There's some really nice melodic ones, and this next one is one by The Impressions. It's been done by several artists sort of since. This version was from 1965, and it's People Get Ready.
Just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the dealers humming. Don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. So people get ready for the train to Jordan, passengers coast to coast. Faith is the key. Open the doors and board them. There's hope for all among those loved the most. Sinner who would hurt all mankind just to save his own. Believe me now, have pity on those whose chances grow thinner, for there's no hiding place against the kingdom's throne. So people get ready, there's a train a-coming. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesels humming. Don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord.
And that was The Impressions and People Get Ready from 1964. Came from their album People Get Ready, and the single was the group's best known hit, reaching number 3 on the Billboard R&B charts, number 14 on the Billboard Hot 100, and the gospel influence track was Curtis Mayfield's composition, displayed the growing sense of social and political awareness in his writing. interesting sort of what I'm reading a bit further. Rolling Stone magazine named People Get Ready as the 24th greatest song of all time, and it was placed at the number 20 on their list of 100 great guitar tracks. The song was included in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, 500 songs that shaped rock and roll. It was also inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame in 1998 and selected by one of the 10 best songs of all time by a panel of 20 songwriters, including Paul McCartney, Brian Wilson, Hal David, and it was for Britain's Mojo magazine. I used to buy that magazine one stage, and that was in 2000. So this next one is one by Gladys Knight and the Pips. It's from 1969, and this one is called Friendship Train.
Say the world today is in a desperate situation. Stealing, burning, fighting, killing, nothing but corruption. It looks like mankind is on the eve of destruction. Boy, you see, people every day that we got to learn to live with each other. Is love and understanding. Get on board the friendship train. Everybody shake a hand, shake a hand. People are talking about the friendship train. Everybody shake a hand, make a friend now. Listen to us now. We're doing our thing.
Tomorrow a brighter day for our children. Oh,
come on, people, now we can do it. I can prove it, but only if my heart's so willing now. So get on board the friendship train. Everybody shake a hand, shake a hand. Yes, I'm talking about the friendship train. Get on board and shake a hand, make a friend. Nah, nah, nah. It don't matter what you look like. Or who you are. If your heart is in the right place, talking about the right place, you're welcome aboard now. This train stands for justice. This train stands for freedom. This train stands for harmony and peace. This train stands for love. Love. Come on, get on the friendship train. Shake a hand, shake a hand. I'm talking about the friendship train. Get on board and shake a hand, make a friend now. People, listen to me now. Harmony is the key for sisters and brothers. Oh, you see, I say harmony is the key for sisters and brothers. People, we can't wait, 'cause another day might be too late. Come on, get on the friendship train. Everybody shake a hand, shake a hand now. I'm talking about the friendship train. Get on board and shake a hand, make a friend.
So there you have it, Radio Care, transporting you from the 60s to present day. Join Mike Howard broadcasting from Coventry to the world.
I certainly am broadcasting from Coventry to the world, to the universe, and anyone who wants to listen. So welcome if you've just joined us tonight on Radio Care. Tonight's show is dedicated to peace and protest. So the songs from about the last 60 years, which have been written and recorded for sort of protesting or for urging sort of peace amongst communities, countries, the world. So that one was won by Gladys Knight and the Pips from 1969. It says it was a Grammy Awards nominated song or single. It peaked at number 17 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 2 on the Billboard R&B charts. Also recorded by The Temptations for their 1970 album Psychedelic Shack, using the same backing track as the Gladys Knight version. So this next one is another one from the 60s, so going back to 1967. This one is by a group called the Youngbloods, and this one is Get Together.
Love is but a song we sing, feels the way we die. You can make the mountains ring, or make the angels cry. Though the bird is on the wing, and you may not know why. Smile on your brother, everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Some may come and some may go, we will surely pass. When the one that left us here returns for us at last, we are but a moment's sunlight fading in the grass. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Together, try to love one another right now. If you hear the song I sing, you will understand. Listen. You hold the key to love and fear, all in your trembling hand. Just one key unlocks them both. It's there at your command. People now, smile on your brother, everybody get together.
that's definitely got that late 60s feel, hasn't it? That was the Youngbloods and Get Together from 1967. It was on their self-titled debut album, The Youngbloods, written in the mid-60s by American singer-songwriter Chet Powers, stage name Dino Valentini, from psychedelic rock, and the band Quicksilver Messenger Service. Never heard of them. The single was Youngblood's only top 40 on the Billboard Hot 100, peaking at number 5 in 1969. The song was originally recorded by the Kingston Trio in a live performance in 1964. It was released on 1st of June 1964 and on their album Back in Town, but it was not released as a single at the time. So this next one is a very famous one from the Rolling Stones. It's a very famous one for being their sort of anti-war protest, particularly sort of the Vietnam War that was going on at the time. And this song is from the album Let It Bleed. It's the opening track, Gimme Shelter. And it covers everything sort of with war, from war, murder, rape, fear, everything that goes into the horrors sort of war. And it's one of their songs which is sort of praised as being one of the band's sort of songs which they perform really well live, and they still perform it live to this day and gets the same response. So this one is Gimme Shelter. And that was the Rolling Stones and Gimme Shelter from 1969. As I mentioned earlier, it was from their album Let It Bleed, and it's one song which is sort of very popular when they actually play it live. So welcome if you've just joined us tonight on Radio Care. Hope everyone's Saturday is going really well, and the weekend is going well. Now, it sounds like I'm full of cold. I'm not. I've just got a bit of a sore throat. Woke up with a bit of a sore throat this morning. I've done a lateral flow test. I haven't got COVID. It's just a sore throat, but just makes me sound like Adrian Mole, and sort of like my voice is sort of breaking or something at the moment. So tonight's show is dedicated to peace and protest. So following the events which we can't get away from on the news, with what's going on sort of in Ukraine and sort of the invasion, which is just, you know, it just sort of blows you away, sort of seeing everything that's happening. And as much as I tried to get away from it, it comes up on Facebook and all sorts of things. So unless I sort of get rid of social media altogether, I'm still going to sort of like be kept up to date with it. But yeah, it's very sad. So this is my sort of tribute to the very brave people of Ukraine. I normally dedicate Radio Care to all the carers, and it still stands. Radio Care was set up to support family carers, and then I opened it up to say a big thank you to all carers, you know, whether you're paid or unpaid, domiciliary care, working in residential care, nurses, but also the family carers, those that are looking after family members, to say a big thank you. But tonight's show is for the people of Ukraine and all the people of fantastic people in other countries which are taking in the refugees and giving them shelter and supporting them as much as they can. So these are songs probably for the last 60 years which have been about sort of peace and protest, and I'm sort of working my way through them. So this next one is one from 1971. It's one from Cat Stevens, and this one is Peace Train.
Now I've been happy lately, thinking about the good things to come, and I believe it could be something good has begun. Oh, I've been smiling lately, dreaming about the world as one, and I believe it could be someday it's going to come. 'Cause out on the edge of darkness there rides a peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country, come take me home again. Now I've been smiling lately, thinking about the good things to come, and I believe it could be something good has begun. Oh, peace train sounding louder, ride on the peace train. Ooh, come on the peace train. It's peace train, holy roller. Everyone jump on the peace train. Come on the peace train. Get your bags together. Go bring your good friends too, 'cause it's getting nearer. It soon will be with you. Come and join the living. It's not so far from you, and it's getting nearer. Soon it will all be true. Oh, peace train sounding louder. Ride on the peace train. Come on, the peace train, the peace train. Oh. Now I've been crying lately, thinking about the world as it is. Why must we go on hating? Why can't we live in bliss? 'Cause out on the edge of darkness there rides a peace train. Oh, peace train, take this country, come take me home again. Oh, peace train sounding louder, ride on the peace 'cause it's the peace train. Come on, the peace train, the peace train.
That's quite a catchy song, isn't it? That was Cat Stevens and The Peace Train from 1971. It was from his 1971 album Teaser and the Firecat, and the song climbed to number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts in the week of November 71, November the 6th, and it was the first US top 10 hit. The song spent 3 weeks number 1 on the adult contemporary charts, also featured on the Very Best of Cat Stevens compilation album, and then was re-recorded for the charity War Child in 2003. Now, Cat Stevens, if you know sort of like your music sort of history and bits sort of about sort of famous sort of personalities, Cat Stevens later converted to Islam and changed his name to Yusuf Islam and reduced his public appearances. But during the Iraq War, he commented on the song's renewed relevance, saying, "Peace Train is a song I wrote, the message of which continues to breeze thunderously through the hearts of millions. There is a powerful need for people to feel that the gust of hope rise above again. As a member of humanity and as a Muslim, this is my contribution to call for a peaceful solution." He also, when he released it in 71, it got to number 3 in Canada and number 4 in New Zealand and number 3 in Australia. Didn't actually chart in the UK, which was a surprise. So this next one is one from Stevie Wonder. It's from 1970, and this song is Heaven Help Us All.
Heaven help the child who never had a home. Heaven help the girl who walks the streets alone. Heaven help the roses if the bombs begin to fall. Heaven help us all. Heaven help the black man if he struggles one more day. Heaven help the white man if he turns back away. Heaven help the man who kicks the man who has to crawl. Heaven help us all. Heaven help us all. Heaven help us all. Help us all. Heaven help us, Lord, hear our call. When we fall Now lay me down before I go to sleep. In a troubled world, I pray the Lord to keep hatred from the mighty and the mighty from the small. Help us all.
What a fantastic song that is. That's Heaven Help Us All from Stevie Wonder. That's got such a gospel feel to it. Says that the song which showcased the departure of Wonder's early works by displaying an earthier gospel-infused sound continued Wonder's string of top 10 singles on the charts, reached number 9 on the Hot 100 singles, number 2 on the R&B charts, and the latter causing it to be his runner-up since Yester Me, Yester You, Yesterday. And it was one of 4 hits of Wonder's album Signed, Sealed and Delivered. And the song has since been covered by dozens of other artists sort of at the time, you know, throughout the age. Just a great song. You can really get that gospel sound with it. Yeah, I love that. So this next one is very famous sort of for being a protest song, and it became an anthem for the anti-war movement, particularly in America, sort of like the anti-war movement. This is from 1969, and it's very famous sort of being John and Yoko, and it's Give Peace a Chance.
2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Now that's definitely a classic protest song. That was John and Yoko and Give Peace a Chance from 1969. Famously, the Montreal recording, I'm sure it's when they done sort of like the bedding, where they stayed in the bed and done sort of like the protests, just after they sort of got married. Interestingly, if that's a word, can't get my words out. John Lennon was still in the Beatles at the time that this was recorded and released. He was the first sort of member of the Beatles to release something at that stage, which sort of really sort of annoyed the others because they were sort of had this agreement about not sort of releasing stuff at the time. So the song peaked at number 14 on the Billboard Hot 100, got to number 2 on the UK singles charts. Finally, we've got something that's been released in the UK, so that's good to hear. That song wasn't one of my favourite ones of sort of John and Yoko and sort of John Lennon, but you can't dispute it. It is a classic song for protest. So this next one is one from Buffalo Springfield. It's going back a little bit, goes back to 1967, and this one is For What It's Worth.
There's something happening here, but what it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I got to beware. I think it's time we stop, children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. There's battle lines being drawn, nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds are getting so much resistance from behind. Every time we stop, hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. What a field day for the heat. 1,000 people in the street, singing songs and they're carrying signs, mostly say hooray for our side. It's time we stop, hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Strikes deep into your life, it will creep. It starts when you're always afraid. Step out of line, the man come and take you away. We better stop, hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. We better stop, hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going. We better stop now, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going. We better stop, children, what's that sound?
I thought it was going to be one of them songs that just finishes and I'm not prepared. That was Buffalo Springfield and For What It's Worth from 1967. It was also titled sort of For What It's Worth, Stop, Hey, What's That Sound? Often referred to, as I just said, For What It's Worth. A song written by Stephen Stills, performed by Buffalo Springfield, recorded in 1966 and released as a single in December of 66, peaking at number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100 and the spring of 67. It was later added to the March 67 sound pressing of their first album, Buffalo Springfield, and the title was added after the song was written, due to it not appearing in the lyrics. So there you have it, my interesting fact for that song. So welcome if you've just joined us on Radio Care tonight. We've got a bit of a sort of a slow audience tonight, but I don't mind. It's a sort of very cosy sort of number. We're up to 2,857 people listening. So welcome from wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining us on Radio Care. And tonight's show is for the people of Ukraine, and just to sort of, I don't know, just... There's very little you can do. Sometimes you feel quite helpless, can't you? You can't do much to help them. Someone sort of said the other day, I put on Facebook about sort of prayers for the Ukraine, and they said, well, I got this comment back saying, well, prayers are no good for them. They need more than that. But I just had to go back and say, well, it's all I can do for them at the moment. But I also thought, I do the Radio Care show. I can at least do a show that's dedicated to the people, and what better way in putting a list together with sort of peace and protest songs. So songs throughout the decades, going back sort of past 60 years, songs that have got into the charts or been released on albums, and which are songs for sort of demonstrations, you know, whether it's civil rights, whether it's wars or whatever it is. People actually sort of the power of the people sort of coming together to sort of stand up to sort of oppressors and things they don't agree with. You know, I don't like sort of people sort of being sort of like oppressed and sort of stuff like that. And it's just, you know, this is my sort of contribution tonight. Anyway, that's enough talking from me. This one is a very famous one as being a protest song. One of the earliest sort of protest songs. This one comes from 1965, and it's from Bob Dylan. And this one is The Times They Are A-Changing.
Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone, for the times they are a-changing. Writers and critics who prophesize with your pen, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin, and there's no telling who that it's naming. Was the loser now will be later to win, for the times they are a-changing. Senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall, for he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. The battle outside raging will soon shake your windows and rattle your walls, for the times they are a-changing. Mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend your hand, for the times they are a-changing. The line it is drawn, the curse it is cast. The slow one now will later be fast, as the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading, and the first one now will later be last, for the times they are a-changing.
And that was Bob Dylan and The Times They Are A-Changing from 1964. It was originally released, recorded in 64, but released in 1965. In Britain, it said in Britain 1965 it reached number 9 on the UK singles charts. The song was not released as a single in the US. In 2019 it was certified silver by the BPI. Ever since its release, the song has been influential to people's views of society, with critics noting the universal lyrics as contributing to the song's lasting message of change. Dylan has occasionally performed it in concert, but it's not one of the regular ones. It's been covered by so many sort of artists over the years. So this next one is one by Bob Marley. This one is One Love, and that's about bringing people together. This one is Bob Marley. You've got to love a bit of Bob Marley, haven't you? That was Bob Marley from 1984. Now, interesting fact about this song. The original version was actually recorded by Bob and his band, the Wailers, back in 1965. And it was one of these sort of songs, or that style of music that they had back then, was very much sort of classed as rocksteady or ska type sort of music. So in 1970, as part of their all-in-one, they reworked a lot of their early ska songs and released them as singles, including sort of compilations of different songs. This version was on the Exodus, was not released until 1984, promoting the fourth greatest hits album, Legend. However, the single was one of the biggest hits and also included on many of Marley and the Wailers' subsequent compilation albums over the years. So in 1984, it got to number 1 in New Zealand, number 5 in the UK, and number 2 in the Netherlands. So for anyone that may have disappeared a little while ago, I think the server of Castor FM may have sort of gone offline for a short while. I had a message come up just to say that you're not connected, although I was still able to record the show. So if you've missed probably about half a minute or a minute of a show, you'll be able to listen back later when it's sort of uploaded onto the podcast. So I'm glad that it didn't cause sort of too many problems. And thank you for coming back. I can see people have started coming back. And so that's sort of like warming to know, or sort of good to know. So this next one is another one from another Beatle. This one is from George Harrison, and this one is Give Me Love.
Life, keep
do like some of George Harrison's sort of earlier stuff. The stuff that he sort of did not long after sort of the Beatles split. That was Give Me Love, Give Me Peace on Earth from 1973. It was from the album Living in Material World. It was issued as the lead single in May of that year and became Harrison's second US number one after My Sweet Lord. In doing so, the song pushed Paul McCartney and Wings' My Love from the top spot on the Billboard Hot 100, marking the only occasion the two former Beatles have held the top two chart positions in America. The single also reached the top 10 in Britain, Canada, Australia and other countries around the world. So thank you for staying with us and coming back after the sort of disconnection of Castor FM. Not too sure what happened there, but thank you for coming back and listening to Radio Care, because tonight's episode is dedicated to peace and protest. So it's songs from the past 60 years, which have been about sort of demonstrations and power to the people and people, you know, giving people the voice and sort of raising sort of issues and topics, and also sort of like about the tragedies of war, and particularly sort of for me at the moment, just sort of thinking about what's going on sort of in the Ukraine at the moment, which affects all of us. It affects the whole world, doesn't it? Sort of particularly what's happening at the moment. So my best way of actually doing something is to actually play music. And music is something that I love, and I know that the listeners and people that do listen to the show, you know, do tell me that they do enjoy sort of the types of stuff, sort of music that I'm sort of playing. And we've had some new people join sort of Radio Care, the group on Facebook in the last week or so. So just to say sort of thank you for joining, and I hope you're really sort of enjoying the show tonight. If you had a chance to listen. I really do sort of appreciate sort of people adding themselves. And if you've not added already, if you look for at Radio Care, hosted by Mike Howard, you'll find it on Facebook. Get on there and you'll find out what the latest shows are sort of coming up sort of week by week. So this next one is one by Elvis Costello, and I really do like Elvis Costello, and this is one of his earlier ones. This is What's So Funny About Peace, Love and Understanding.
Of insanity, I ask myself
There's definitely a bit of a wall of sound sort of going on with that song, isn't there? That was Elvis Costello and What's So Funny About Peace, Love and Understanding. Actually, it was Elvis Costello and the Attractions on that recording. And that was his version of a Nick Lowe song from 1978. Written by Nick Lowe and initially released by Lowe in his band Brinsley Schwartz. On their 1974 album, The New Favourites of Brinsley Schwartz, but more famously, as I just played, was the Elvis Costello and the Attractions version, which was recorded and released as a B-side to, let's have a look, B-side to Lowe's 1978 solo single, American Squirm. It says that the cover saw popularity and was later included on an American version of Costello's 1979 album, Armed Forces. I remember that album very much. So this next artist, I didn't realise that she'd sort of done some stuff sort of like in the sort of her late 80s. I thought she was more sort of like 70s, and possibly very early sort of 80s. But this one is one from Patti Smith, and it's a song called People Have the Power. And yeah, it's from an album called, let's have a look, Dream of Life, which, like I said, released in 1988. And yeah, see what you think of it.
The power
kind of like that song. That was Patti Smith and People Have the Power from 1988 from her album Dream of Life. It says that the song is ranked as number 22 on the NME magazine list for Single of the Year. Like I say, I didn't realise that she was still recording stuff then, but I'll have to check out some more of her stuff. I really did like that one. So this next one is a cover of a John Lennon song, and there was an album that was brought out in 2007 which was all covers of John Lennon songs, and it was for Amnesty International's album to save Darfur. And this version is U2's version of Instant Karma. And Instant Karma is a sort of well-known one sort of by John Lennon, which he released in 1970. And see what you think.
Instant Karma's gonna get you. Knock you right on the head. Better get yourself together. Pretty soon you're gonna be dead. What in the world you thinking of? Laughing in the face of love. What on earth you trying to do? It's up to you, yeah, you. Mr. Karma's gonna get you. You get you right in the face. Better get yourself together, darling. Join the human race. By the world you're gonna see. Laughing at fools like me. What on earth do you think you are? A superstar will write you off. We all shine on. Let the moon, the stars, and the sun. We all shine on and on and on. It's the karma's gonna get you. Gonna knock you off your feet. Better recognize your brother. Everyone that you meet. Why in the world are we here? Shunning undelivered pain and fear. Why on earth are you there? When you're everywhere, come get your share. We all shine on. Like the moon, the stars, and the sun. We all shine on and on and on and on. We all shine on. Like the moon and the stars and the sun. Yeah, we all shine on. Come on and on and on and on. Shine on. Shine on. Shine on. Come on and on and on and on.
Come on, who else listened to the beginning of that? When that first started, who thought of Madonna's True Blue when they first started playing? That's exactly what I was sort of thinking. Hold up, this isn't Instant Karma. Anyway, that was U2's version of Instant Karma, their 2007 version, which they released for the Amnesty International album. Originally recorded and released by John Lennon in 1970, It actually was in the charts the same time as the Beatles' Let It Be, and it was competing sort of like for the top spot over there. It did become the first solo single from a member of the Beatles to sell over 1 million copies. So this is another song from that Amnesty International album. This is also a John Lennon song, and this one is Power to the People, but it's done by the Black Eyed Peas. And the original song by John Lennon was a single released in 1971 by John Lennon and Plastic Ono Band, but it wasn't until 1975 it appeared on the Shaved Fish album. This one is Power to the People, the Black Eyed Peas version. And not a bad version of that song. That was the Black Eyed Peas version of Power to the People, a John Lennon song originally released in 1971 but didn't appear on an album until 1975. It appeared on his Shaved Fish album. The song got to number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100, number 10 on the Cashbox Top 100, and also got to number 6 in the UK singles charts. Yeah, not a bad version. Power to the People, though, does make you think of Wolfie Smith. I'm thinking of a two-tin popular front. And if anyone remembers Citizen Smith, you'll know what I'm on about. So this next one is one from Fleetwood Mac, and I do like Fleetwood Mac, and I've never heard this song before. It was from their album Say You Will, which was from 2003, and it was also the band's, let's have a look, band's 25th and most recent song off a debut in the US Billboard Hot 100. Also was Buckingham's first US hit since Family Man, peaking at number 90 in 1988. Anyway, this song's from 2003. It's called Peacekeeper. Yeah, it's a nice song.
We make all of our sons the same. Everyone will suffer the fire we've made. They all explode just the same, and there's no going back on the plans we've laid. Peacekeeper, take your time. Wait for the dark of night. Soon all the suns will rise. Peacekeeper, don't tell why. Don't be afraid to fight. Love is the sweet surprise. Only creatures who are on their way ever poison their own well. But we still have time to hate, and there's still something we can sell. Peacekeeper, take your time. Wait for the dark of night. Soon all the suns will rise. Peacekeeper, don't tell why. Don't be afraid to fight. Love is the sweet surprise. When the night is cold and still, when you thought you'd had your fill, take all the time you will. This is not a test, it's not a drill. Take no prisoners, only kill. You know all of our friends are gods, and they all tell us how to paint our face. But there's only one brush we need. It's the one that never leaves a trace. Peacekeeper, take your time. Wait for the dark of night. Soon all the suns will rise. Peacekeeper, don't tell why. Don't be afraid to fight. Love is the sweet surprise. Peacekeeper, take your time. Wait for the dark of night. Soon all the suns will rise. Peacekeeper, don't tell why. Don't be afraid to fight. Love is the sweet surprise. When the night is cold and still, when you thought you'd had your fill, this is not a test, it's not a drill. Take no prisoners, only
only kill.
Yeah, nice song. That was Fleetwood Mac and Peacekeeper from 2003 from the album Say You Will. It entered the US charts at number 93, but left the charts position at number 80. It did better in New Zealand, where it got to number 31 on the New Zealand singles charts. But in the UK, it failed to chart. And you find that sort of, you know, these bands that have been around for many, many years, sort of as a younger generation, don't tend to sort of appreciate sort of the sounds. And a lot of the sales are sort of digital sales sort of nowadays, aren't they? And yeah, anyway, I thought it was a good song, and yeah, it fits perfectly on this set. So this next one is one from the Eagles. So we're going back to 1975. Now, I was reading about this song, and it was saying that the band didn't actually like the song. It was written by Bernie Leadon, and it was about his girlfriend, Patty Davis, who was the daughter of Ronald Reagan and Nancy Reagan. And they disowned Patty because she'd actually moved in and was living sort of as an unmarried couple, and they didn't actually approve of that. And that's what the song was sort of written about, sort of like the turmoil that was sort of like caused through sort of like, you know, falling in love with someone, and then sort of family sort of creating hostility and, you know, and not keeping the peace. So this one is I Wish You Peace.
Shelter from
can see why the Eagles weren't particularly one of their favourite tracks, but it's not a horrible track. They sort of likened it to being a bit of sort of cocktail music, sort of like that sort of lounge bar sort of group sound. But yeah, like I say, it's not a horrible track. It's just not the usual Eagles type song. So that was I Wish You Peace from the Eagles in 1975. So this next one is one by George Michael, and it's actually a cover of a U2 song under their pseudonym of the Passengers, or Passengers. It's a song called Miss Sarajevo, which the U2 version, or the Passengers version, featured Luciano Pavarotti as a guest vocal appearance, singing the opera solo. But this is George Michael's sort of version, which he brought out in 1999 on Songs from Last Century. That's a great album if you haven't listened to it. There's some really great covers on there, and he does that in his own sort of jazzy sort of style. So this one is Miss Sarajevo, and this is from Another War, really.
Distance, a time to turn your eyes away. Is there a time for keeping your head down, for getting on with your day? Is there a time for cold lipstick, a time for cutting hair? Is there a time for high street shopping, to find the right dress to wear? Here she comes. Heads turn around. Here she comes to take her crown. Is there a time to run for cover? A time for kiss and tell? Is there a time for different colors, different names? You find it hard to spell. Is there a time for first communion? A time for East 17? Is there a time to turn to Mecca? Is there time to be a beauty queen? Here she comes. Heads turn around. Here she comes. Surreal in her crown. Ribbons, a time for Christmas trees. Is there a time for laying tables and the night is set to freeze?
Do love this version of that song. That was Miss Sarajevo, and that was George Michael's version from his 1999 album Songs from the Last Century. So we're getting through the set. I think there's probably about 6 more songs left on the set, and then sort of we'll be finishing. So probably about another, I don't know, half an hour at the most, with a bit of sort of chat in between. So this next one is one from Michael Jackson. It's from 1991. It's quite a long song, but it is definitely his sort of anti-war song. And this one is Heal the World.
Think about the generations and to say we want to make it a better place for our children and our children's children, so that they know it's a better world for them, and think if they can make it a better place.
There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love. And this place is much brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, you feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space, make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me. If you want to know why, there's a love that cannot lie. Love is strong, it only cares for joyful giving. If we try, we shall see. In this bliss we cannot feel. Fear or dread will stop existing and start living. Then it feels that always love's enough for us growing. Make a better world, make a better world. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough
What a classic song that is. Can't believe it's that old, really. Sounds that old. That was Heal the World, Michael Jackson, from his 1991 album Dangerous, but released in November 1992 as the fifth single from that album. It reached number 2 on the UK singles charts, held off the number 1 spot by Whitney Houston's I Will Love You Always, but it only peaked at number 27 on the US Billboard Hot 100. So this next one is a cover version of Simon and Garfunkel's song. I was going to put Simon and Garfunkel on because I really do like them. I was sort of brought up with mum sort of like listening to them. So I know most of their stuff. But this one actually became a hit 50 years after the original version was released in 1965. So this one is The Sound of Silence, and it was released in 2015 by American heavy metal band Disturbed. And yeah, they don't do a bad job with it.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, neath the halo of a street lamp. I turned my collar to the cold and damp, when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more, people talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs and voices
what a powerful rendition of Simon and Garfunkel's Sound of Silence, and this was done by the Disturbed in 2015. It was, let's have a look, hit number 1 on the Billboard Hard Rock Digital Songs and Mainstream Rock charts, and is the highest charting song on the Hot 100, peaking at number 42, or their highest charting song. This song got to number 4 on the Australian singles charts. So we're going to go back again in time. We're going back to 1970. This one is definitely, a song of peace and calm. This is one from the Beatles, and this one is Let It Be.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be. Let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. Let it be. 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 Yeah, there will be an answer. Let it be. 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 Whisper words of wisdom. Let it be. Cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Yeah, let it be. Let it be. Let it be.
The unmistakable voice of Paul McCartney, who sung lead on this 1970 hit, Let It Be by the Beatles, one of their last songs to be released. It was also the song that was released at the time of Paul McCartney announcing that he was leaving the Beatles, along with the single The Long and Winding Road and the Let It Be album. So quite a sort of a poignant sort of a song, really. Sort of changes come in, sort of the breakup of the Beatles, and also, it's just what's going on, all sorts of things that go on in the world, very, very poignant. So 13 years after the breakup of the Beatles, Paul McCartney was still going strong, and he wrote another hit in 1983 for his album Tug of War. Originally for the album Tug of War, but it actually appeared on the album Pipes of Peace, and this one is Pipes of Peace.
I light a candle to our love. In love our problems disappear. But all in all we soon discover that one and one is all we long to hear. All around the world, little children being born to the world. Got to give them all we can till the war is won. Then will the work be done? Help them to learn songs of joy instead of burn, baby, burn. Let us show them how to play the pipes of peace. Play the pipes of peace. Help me to learn songs of joy instead of burn, baby, burn. Won't you show me how to play the pipes of peace? Play the pipes of peace. What do you say? Will the human race be run in a day? Or will someone save this planet we're playing on? Is it the only one? What are we gonna do? Help them to see that the people here are like you and me. Let us show them how to play the pipes of peace. Play the pipes of I light a candle to our love. In love our problems disappear. But all in all we soon discover that one and one is all we long to hear.
RadioCare wants to thank all carers around the world. Paid and unpaid, you are all amazing.
And that was Paul McCartney and Pipes of Peace from 1983. I said that it was originally going to be released on Tug of War. Tug of War was actually the album that was released before the Pipes of Peace album. So he's the previous album, and was quite sort of commercially successful at that time. It says that the album Pipes a Piece got to number 15 on the Billboard 200 albums chart. It says the single Say Say Say, so I helped that, the one that he did with Michael Jackson, which I think I played last week, which was the title track, sort of on the album Tug of War. It says also, let's have a look, that the album, let's have a look. There's so much going on here. So it got to number 11 in Canada, and reached number 3 on the Billboard Adult Contemporary. So this is the single Pipes a Piece, sort of where it got to. Okay. That's enough about the Paul McCartney on there. So we're down to the last 2 songs. I hope you've enjoyed what I've played tonight, and that it sort of fits in with the peace and protest sort of information and sort of a theme that I sort of had tonight. So this one is one from Paul Simon. It's from his 2006 album Surprise, which was his 11th solo studio album, and peaked at number 14 on the Billboard 200 albums charts. So this song is called Wartime Prayers, and I thought it was a nice one to go on there. See what you think of it.
Prayers offered in times of peace are silent conversations, appeals for love or love's release in private invocations. But all that is changed now, gone like a memory from the day before the fires. People hungry for the voice of God hear lunatics and liars. Wartime prayers, wartime prayers, in every language spoken, for every family scattered and broken. Because you cannot walk with the holy if you're just a halfway decent man. I don't pretend that I'm a mastermind with a genius marketing plan. I'm trying to tap into some wisdom, even a little drop would do. I want to rid my heart of envy and cleanse my soul of rage before I'm through. Times are hard, it's a hard time, but everybody knows all about hard times. The thing is, what are you gonna do? Will you cry and try to muscle through and try to rearrange your stuff? But when the wounds are deep enough and it's all that we can bear, we wrap ourselves in prayer. walk with the holy if you're just a halfway decent man. I don't pretend that I'm a mastermind with a genius marketing plan. I'm trying to tap into some wisdom, even a little drop of blue. I want to rid my heart of envy and cleanse my soul of rage before I'm through. A mother murmurs in twilight sleep and draws her babies closer with hush-up eyes for sleepy eyes and kisses on the shoulder to drive away despair. She says a wartime prayer.
Another one of them songs, you listen to them words and yeah, they're really sort of deep and sort of meaningful. And you know, Paul Simon, he's very good at sort of writing those type of songs that do sort of touch you and sort of you know, make you sort of sit there and sort of listen and like you're listening to a story. It does say that the album that I mentioned earlier that it was from, Surprise, actually did better in the UK and got to number 4 on the UK albums charts. And that's the best chart position he's had since Rhythm of the Saints was at number 1 in 1990, and probably since Graceland sort of before that. When that album came out, was that 86? But yeah, what a really good sort of set I think tonight. I've enjoyed it. Hope you've enjoyed sort of the tunes. There's been a right mixture on there, and it's surprising how many songs there are that are there sort of like you know, people who wrote in protest, you know, things that really touched them and made them sort of want to write about you know, things that are happening around them. I don't know whether it's civil rights, whether it's wars, whether it's discrimination, whatever it is that's sort of going on around them. People have written it down and they've actually sort of recorded the songs and everything. You know, and they're there forever, aren't they? It's just like sort of the poets that used to sort of write stuff down when they sort of, you know, they felt sort of that strongly about something that was happening sort of like in their life or affecting sort of other people. And it's kind of how I feel sort of about what's going on with sort of the war in Ukraine and the invasion of Ukraine at the moment. I just feel so bad and sad for the people. It's just such a sad time, really. So this show is dedicated to the people of Ukraine and all those sort of brilliant people that are actually helping all the neighbouring countries that have been taking in sort of the refugees and supporting them, and you know, the Europe and America sort of coming together, and also United Nations, what they're doing. You know, they're all condemning sort of what's going on. You know, and we just got to sort of see what sort of happens sort of with it. But this is just my little dedication. So we're at the end of the show, and I thought this would be a nice one to finish with. It's a song originally done by Louis Armstrong in, was it 1969, 1970, Wonderful World. But I've chosen to do the Israel Kamiko, okay, get it right in a minute. Israel Cameo, no, I can't say it. I'll just say Izzy. He's the Hawaiian singer that was very famous for doing Over the Rainbow. I had it all practiced earlier on. Someone will probably correct me and give me sort of the proper pronunciation on how you say his name. So this one was released after his death in 1997, and it reached number 12 on the Billboard Hot Digital Tracks in 2004. And it was a worldwide hit. It says Over the Rainbow, which also featured, it was Over the Rainbow and What Wonderful World, entered the UK charts at number 68 and eventually climbed to number 46, spending 10 weeks in the top 100 over a 2-year period. So I'll say goodnight to you. I'll leave you with this song from Izzy, and this one is Wonderful World. So stay safe, and wherever you are, have a good week, and hopefully you'll join me next week. Night all.
In the sky, I also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, singing, "How do you do?" They really say, I love you. I hear babies cry and I watch them go. They'll learn much more than we'll know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful
Everybody gotta save themselves. Make the kuleana pono for help the other. And when you make your kuleana, pono there, it's like kind of automatic kind of. You don't need to talk, the stuff going happen. And you just gotta let them, and the stuff just waiting for when you ready. And what happened?
The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, singing, "How do you do?" They really say, I love you. They'll learn much more than we'll know, and I think to myself,
If you love great music and some gentle banter, you're in the right place. Listen to Radio Care, broadcasting from Coventry.